Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard all across the World Wide Web. Hey, guys, thanks so much for checking us out here on another phenomenal show. So listen, the authors have taken over today. We have two dynamic author spotlights. You know the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show loves the authors, and so we want to give you some reading suggestions. We're going into the fall. You might have to go to your kids' your football games. You got to sit out for practice. You got to do, all this stuff. The weather's getting colder, so you need some good books to read. So we're going to help you out today. Yes, we are. Before I jump into that, as always, make sure you catch us on Twitter, twitter.com/Sharvette. Catch us on Periscope, periscope.tv/Sharvette. And catch us on Facebook, facebook.com/Sharvette. And, of course, all else fails, you want to go to Sharvette.com and hang out right there. All right, so let me tell you about our guest today. Our first segment, my guest is hanging out in the virtual green room. I'm going to be bringing her up to the mic momentarily. We have Holland Meissner. She is the author of Dying to Be Angry. She writes, she sings, and she enjoys an occasional open mic at a comedy club. So we're going to hear all from her and about this dynamic book. And then in our second segment, we don't want you to move at all. We're going to be talking to author Nicole Hill, and she has a book out called Blinded by Love, and I'm telling you what, you got to hear about some of these characters in this here book. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a really, really, really good read for you, for both of our authors. So there you go. So listen, jump online, tell people what you're listening to, jump online, tell them what you are checking out. You're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, and we're moving right on into our very first segment again. Hanging out with me here, Holland Meissner is joining us. Hello, Holland. Welcome to the show.
Hello. I am so excited to be here.
Wonderful. We are glad to have you. We've been tweeting you and all that good stuff all on Twitter.
I know. Thanks for the tweet love.
You're welcome. All right, so let's start from the beginning. How did your writing journey start?
In my book, I talk about how we are born of the Great Spirit, and I express my love for Dr. Wayne Dyer. I think I've always been a writer. I just did not acknowledge it. Even as a little girl, I remember always writing. What I was writing, I don't know, but I was writing.
All right.
So I've always been a writer.
Yeah. And so what was the catalyst that said, okay, I need to publish a book now?
We talk about social media. Social media is really what pushed me into publishing. I was reading a lot of anger online from various news publications, whether I'm reading about what's happening in the news, whether I'm looking at people's personal accounts. I said, we are angry. And then I was going through some personal things, and I said, you know what, I'm angry too. And if we don't do something about this anger, it can really destroy us. It can do it individually, and it can do it on a broader scale. And that's why the title is Dying to Be Angry. It's a new type of self-help book. So I talk about anger in a very gingerly way, but a very authentic way. So
because what are the
words.
you use some choice words. So what are the impacts of anger, number one, to us internally, the individual, and then to those that are around that individual?
Well, to us internally, anger can lead to stress, changes in the body like hypertension, acting out toward others, hurting others because we're angry. And then on a broader scale, I talk about in the book how people can be addicted to a drug for many years. But if you hold anger for any length of time, you will lash out. Anger is
Wow.
more potent, and it's more impactful. You see what I'm saying? So on a broader scale, just read the news. You know, you have individuals who are going into places of peace and worship and shooting individuals up. They're angry. Nobody does that if they're sad. Nobody does that if they're happy. But if they're angry, they will.
Wow. And why do you think there has been this almost growth of anger or uncovering of anger? Maybe it's always been there, but do you feel like it's more heightened now?
Maybe it's more noticeable because we do have so many venues of expression. We have, you know, I don't want to specifically name any particular social media site, but we have so many ways to get information out there. We have people videotaping with their phone. This is an expression of anger. This is an expression of control and oppression of another person and taking some kind of emotional, you know, vengeance out on people. And I don't know if it's more now or less now because we do have a history of slavery all across this world, not just in America. And that's anger. That's anger. So I felt compelled to take what I had gone through personally and say, you know what, enough of this. So I hope everybody who's ever been a victim, ever been angry, ever victimized somebody, reads this book and learn to do better. Mother Maya Angelou, she said, you know, first we learn better and do better. She was always talking about that. I learned better, and instead of complaining about it, I wrote about it. And I said, you know what, let's do better.
Let's do better. You bring up such a great point that we have more ways to express anger now. So if you think about social media and videos, how we see so many videos of school fights, and, you know, or in particular, it seems like in the schools, we see so many videos that get put out online now. Does that say that they weren't fighting before, but it's highlighted now? It is known if a fight breaks out, you're going to have several people pull out their phone and then share that anger across social media.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Dying to be Angry, how did you come up with the actual title?
You know, I wrote the entire book, did not have a title. And again, this is kind of alluding to my future projects because I am writing, as I speak with you, on 2 other projects. It really came from me meditating. I believe in meditating and just pulling it out of the air and saying, you know what is this book about? And it is about how anger made me physically, spiritually, psychologically, just sick all the way around, and how I've seen it make other people sick. And you are dying to be angry. You know, if you don't let it go, then that's what it's leading to. And this book is really specifically written for this generation on our terms, in our language. I use LOL in the book. You know, that is very modern. I talk about some things that we've all gone through as people. Maybe you haven't lived my journey, but you've definitely been victimized before with 7 billion people on this earth. You know, so that's what it's about. It's about whether you're a victim or the predator. We all need to read this book, understand, and it's short, quick read, and, you know, understand what we're doing to ourselves and what type of toxic energy we're putting out. You know, I had to really realize that I'm not just a victim, but when I take on my predator's energy, I give it back out. So it's an ongoing process of negative energy.
Wow. And so in the book, you recount tales of abuse, crooked justice, betrayal, you know, abandonment. Yeah. So talk a little bit about, you know, those things that really, you know, are kind of the foundation of what this book started talking about.
Well, abandonment. We've all been abandoned, whether it's by parents. Sometimes people experience that early on in life. There's little people, or young people, shall I say. We've been abandoned by someone we loved, Maybe it was a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we've been abandoned by a coworker, somebody who said, hey, I will stand with you in solidarity. We're both going to go in and ask the boss for a raise. And then you get in there and they turn around and, we've all been abandoned.
Yeah.
and so when does abandonment get you? If you've been abandoned, and I'm just going to speak to you, how do you feel?
You feel left out. You feel, you feel like you were left out in the cold, basically, to fend for yourself.
Exactly. And if you stew in it long enough, you'll get pissed off. Can I say that on radio? Uh-oh.
You can say that.
You'll get angry.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
You'll get angry.
Yeah.
And so if you stew in it long enough and that anger multiplies, you'll find yourself doing something negative, being mean, and then, again, that's that endless cycle I was talking about. So abandonment, for me, came early. I was a little girl who, I had people who loved me. I ate. Obviously, I survived. I was fed and clothed. But my parents were, very busy with their careers, very busy. And then when I became an adult, I felt that same feeling again. So abandonment is something that if you live long enough, you will experience it time and time again. Now, what dying to be angry really forewarns you about is how do you react to that? How do you internalize that? How can you learn from that feeling and move forward in a positive, more enlightened way?
Wonderful, wonderfully said. Listeners, if you just tuned in, hey there, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, and we're in an author spotlight with Holland Meissner talking about dying to be angry. You want to pick it up. Holland, while they're listening, where is the book available for sale?
Well, if you, it'll be out on Nook in days now. It's on Kindle now. And if you want the print version, you can go to hollandmeissner.com, or you can Google Dying to be Angry. Holland Meissner is difficult to spell, so I'll spell it quickly, Holland, like the country, Meissner. So if you go there, you can get it in print form. You can get it soon in audio form. So I am actually working with audible.com on that. So this book will be available. Yes, it's going to be available anywhere that you have internet connection. You can figure out, hey, how can I get this book? And I purposely released it in ebook form because I am very much interested in reaching this digital age, this new generation, the generation that we really are part product of. Because I think you are with me. We're in between. We know what it's like to not have this nice, wonderful, easy thing called internet, and we know what it's like to have it. So
right,
we know how to go to the library and pull a book.
Right.
So
listen, I think I still remember.
Oh yes, yeah. Right. Yeah, so it's at Amazon.com, and again, you can get it at HollandMeissner.com. It's out there. Google Dying to be Angry or Google Holland Meissner. And I must admit, if you Google my name, a specific meal pops up. You might see a rice and chicken meal. That is my creation. It's called the Holland. So I enjoy cooking as well.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And listeners, if you're hanging out on Sharvette.com, listening from there, if you jump over to Sharvette.com on the blog post there, I have a link directly to Holland's website and also how you can direct link to Amazon as well. Direct link right there. And actually, I want to read a review that someone put about Dying to be Angry on Amazon. This is how we do this over here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. So this is a review. Listeners, you can actually go see it right on Amazon, and it says, I have really enjoyed this book on so many levels. It dealt with real-life issues that we have the tendency to suppress at some point in our life. Everything from child abuse, abandonment, physical, emotional, and political powers, and the betrayal of loved ones, and how undealt anger will kill the life you have, and they go on to say more. Are those the general responses you're hearing from people that are reading the book?
Yes, I'm getting some shocking reviews. I actually had a friend that I had gone to high school with reach out to me and said, hey, I read your book. And this particular individual was like, oh, my goodness, you were so angry. And I said, yeah, that's why I wrote the book. And then later they wrote me back after they finished the book, you know, and they were like, you know what, thank you. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that it will shake you up. At the beginning or throughout the reading of the book, you might feel angry too. I don't know. You might want to call me and say, oh, my goodness. But hopefully by the end of the book, you're like, you know what, thank you.
It's interesting you open up the book, the dedication area. You know, you have two dedication areas. It's the original dedication and a revised dedication. And, you know, normally the dedication is, you know, it's my mom or a teacher I had that influenced me. But I like that you left in your original thought. And your original dedication says, I dedicate this book to my tears. And I thought that was very powerful. Now, you do go on there as a revised one, listener, so you know, if you want a more in-depth, but I thought that was very powerful. So why that one-sentence dedication?
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I've always been described as sensitive, you know, emotional. And I thought that was wrong. Something was wrong with me. And now I know that I was specifically wired and designed to be me, and I'm okay. And my tears never judged me. My tears have always been there for me, whether it was at night, in the morning. If I felt like speaking with my tears instead of singing or instead of pleading or praying, my tears never let me down. And even as I wrote the book, I cried. No one knew I was writing the book, but my tears knew, and that's why I dedicated the book to my tears. They were the constant in my life and the constant throughout everything I experienced.
All right. Wow. I love that explanation. Very profound to me. I found that to be very, very profound. And so you also did with this book, you did some research around cancer patients and anger. Talk a little bit about what you found there.
Well, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I'm okay with being that. I will read anything. Oh, I love to read. And I read a study that talked about how cancer patients reported low scores, and I referenced this study in the book because I have to give credit where credit is due. But we don't often understand. You know, we think, okay, if I put my makeup on, especially as women, if I put on my nice outfit and I put on my perfume and I cover up all these things that I'm suffering through, I'll be okay. But sooner or later, your body tells on you. Sooner or later, whether it's something that we can detect, because we never can detect cancer. Somebody has to tell us, right? You go to the doctor, hey, doc, I don't feel well. He has to tell you, hey, I found something. So this is just, I purposely talk about that because I wanted people to really understand the impact of holding on to anger. It's real.
It's real. It is real. It is real. It is real. Wow. Okay, so with this book, if you were to summarize, 2 or 3 key things that you want the reader to walk away with, what would be your summary?
I want people to walk away with my summary. I want people to walk away and say, I'm going to live better. I'm going to live my truth. And if you do that, you're fine. I know that's short. I'm a woman of few words, believe it or not. I can write more than I can talk. I'm really
That's
pushing
fine.
it for you here with this interview. But really, I want people to yeah, I know I'm talking, I'm pushing, I'm sweating here because I'm like, oh, this is so much talking. But really, I want people to be authentic, be true to themselves, because when you hide behind that, when you suppress it and you let it come out in negative ways instead of dealing with it up front, recognize that you're angry. Deal with it. Don't try to hold on to it. Deal with it and let it go. And live your truth. When I wrote this book, I mentioned some things that are not nice, that are not, they're my truth, but they're not something that I wanted my family to know about me, even after all these years. But I had to live my truth.
Live your truth. Live your truth. And there's a phrase I saw in reference to the book that I love, and it says, this book is the shameless anthem of the repressed woman and the repossession of her life. And I love that you use the word repossession, because oftentimes that word is only a negative. It is only thought of that someone else is coming to take something of mine. But I love that you use the word repossession of your life, of her life, to say you're snatching your life back. You gotta do something forcibly to get your life back.
You know what? I love repossession, because repossession, okay, now I'm going to speak my truth. We've all had something repossessed. I had a little car I loved dearly. And the people that had the title to it repossessed it. You see? So the people that rightfully own it, they come take it, because the person who has it is not keeping up with the terms. And that's what we have to do. If you give your love and commitment, your loyalty, your dedication to someone, and they stifle your truth, repossess it. Repossess it. It's all over social media, different ways about, different sayings on Instagram and various things. I love these little pictures, these little sayings, And I don't want to quote any of them on your show, but, we have to live our truth and repossess things that have been taken from us when people don't care for them in the right way. Yeah, I'm glad that you zoomed in on that.
Yeah, that jumped out at me. That jumped up and out at me. That phrase there. Oh wow, Holland. Okay, tell listeners again how they can connect with you online and how they can pick up a copy of your book.
Go to HollandMeissner.com or Google Holland Meissner, and you can also Google Dying to Be Angry. You will be able to get this book in Kindle form on Amazon, in Nook form. It's coming out in Audible form. You can get the print form by going to Holland Meissner, and that's Holland like the country, MEISSNER.com. And, if you Google it, sometimes I forget. Now, what was it? Holland what? It's HollandMeissner.com. If you forget, just Google Dying to Be Angry. And I hope you all enjoy it. And please, people contact me and tell me about the reviews. Please go to Amazon.com or Barnes and Nobles once you get the Nook version, and let them know that, hey, I'm enjoying this book. This book did do something positive for me. And I would love to hear any kind of feedback. I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you have any upcoming events that you want to shout out?
I don't have any events per se, but if you follow me on Twitter, again, Holland Meissner, one word. If you follow me on my Goodreads account, that's for those real starches book lovers. I have a Goodreads account. I will be posting various events. So,
great. And you're they can connect with you, and they can connect with you on Twitter. And I have tweeted, Holland, so that's an easy connection point. If you're following me on Twitter, twitter.com/Sharvette, I have tweeted all during the show and before the show, so those are easy connection points right there, easy way to connect. And so I certainly don't want to leave out that you're, a wife, you're a mom, you cook, you sing, you got, how do you balance it all?
I get up every day and I live like a
Wonderful, wonderful. And my last question for you, the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence, and we want to know what continues to motivate you.
You know what? I am just motivated by all of the positive feedback I get back about this book. Thank every last one of you.
All right. I think that's a good motivation, that the book impacted and helped someone. I think that's a great motivation. Listeners, put your hands together right now for Holland Meissner. Support. Holland, thank you so much for stopping by the show. We have enjoyed having you.
Thank you. And you know what? Keep up the good work, because without you, us geeks would not have any platform.
Well, I will keep up the good work. I will keep providing a platform. So thank you. All right, listeners, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be back with our second segment, chatting it up with author Nicole Hill. Her book is called Blinded by Love. I'm telling you, you don't want to move. You don't want to go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette will be back after this.
Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day by LaTanya Boyd, consists of inspirational messages that offer daily words of empowerment, promote spiritual growth and development in the Lord Jesus Christ for your day-to-day living. Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day. Available now on Kindle, ebook, and paperback. Log on to www.latboyd.com.
Does your church or ministry have a website? Are you a local artist or author that has an established web presence? If you answered no to any of these questions, you're letting countless opportunities pass you by. Hi, I'm Sharvette Mitchell. Mitchell Productions was created with your needs in mind. We will provide you with stylish and economical online marketing solutions. From email marketing to your own website, Mitchell Productions caters to ministries, nonprofits, small businesses, and special events. Check out our portfolio at mitchell-productions.com. In today's world, a website is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And Mitchell Productions can create your website in a stylish manner at a very economical price. Don't let business, customers, or new congregation members pass you by. Visit Mitchell Productions today at www.mitchell-productions.com. Let us showcase your organization to the world.
IndustryBuzzWith3Zs.com. Join in today on the movement to bring integrity back to media. With one click of a button, you can disseminate your information right from Industry Buzz to all your favorite social sites like Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, and to your email contact. Maximize your vision today. Plus, get the latest news, entertainment, and media. Need fashion or makeup tips? Looking for a job? Connect with us today. Want to connect with other business visionaries? Connect with us today. This site is for everyone, from teens to music lovers, from businessmen and women, industry professionals and performers. As a member of Industry Buzz with 3Zs, you'll gain help promoting your vision. Industry Buzz with 3Zs will expose, expand, and keep your fan base up to date with all your happenings. Members also receive free or discounted perks from various sponsored companies. So join the social network, expand, and stabilize your business. Connect with like-minded individuals. Need an artist to minister at your upcoming event? Look on Industry Buzz. Have a voice and submit your article to our e-magazine. Industry Buzz with 3Zs is the place to globalize your vision. Establish it today. Be heard. It's all on IndustryBuzzWith3Zs.com.
Hello, we are 123jobzone.com, an online job search portal. We are user-friendly, and if you're searching for a job, with us, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, go to www.123jobzone.com and register as a job seeker. Step 2, once registered, upload your resumes. Step 3, Get connected with employers looking for people like you who are ready and willing to work. Don't forget to follow 123 Job Zone on Twitter and Facebook to find out more about our upcoming job fairs. What are you waiting for? Stop by 123jobzone.com today. Good luck with your job search.
She's here to motivate, excite, and influence you. She's Sharvette Mitchell. It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show with in-depth interviews from today's leading authors, gospel artists, stars that you want to know about. And now, Sharvette Mitchell.
Listen, Simone meets and falls in love with Maurice. But will this new relationship come with a price? Christy has been a loyal and devoted friend to Simone, but when she is put in an uncompromising situation, will her loyalty and devotion be returned? Tasha is keeping a devastating secret from both Simone and Christy, but soon finds out she wasn't the only one keeping secrets. I grabbed your attention, didn't I? Yes, I did. Listen, we're rolling right on into our second segment. That was just a quick synopsis of the book, Blinded by Love, by author Nicole Hill. I'm bringing her up to the mic. Listen, she's been hanging out in the virtual green room, enjoying snacks, and we're glad to chat with author Nicole Hill. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. This is a juicy book just from the sound of that quick synopsis.
Yes, it is. It's very good. It's very good.
Oh, well, look, if you say so yourself, right?
If I say so myself.
So, listen, you started writing. You were writing plays and short stories at the age of 8. Tell us about what you were doing all the way back then.
Well, I mean, at that age, just like in school with friends asked me to write something for them, and, I used to write all the time because I guess being the youngest of 5 kids, all my brothers and sisters are way older than me, so I was always by myself. So that was my way of entertaining myself.
Wow, so you have a very vivid imagination, I can imagine.
Yes.
Awesome.
Instead of having imaginary friends, I just created.
You just wrote. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Good. And so time goes on, and you probably, as you were growing up, got away from writing. When did you kind of when did you rediscover your love for writing?
Well, it started maybe about 6 or 7 years ago. I started just dabbling in stories, just writing them, but I would never finish them. I wrote like maybe 3 or 4 stories and got into it and then stopped and started on something else and then stopped. I never finished the stories. But just the first of this year, when I wrote my first book, Betrayed, that's when I finally finished a story.
Well, and so was there like a huge sense of accomplishment?
Yes.
Like
yes,
I can check the box. I actually finished.
Yeah, that was a huge accomplishment for myself because I start stuff and don't finish it. So that was like the very first book that I actually sat down and started it and finished it. Now I feel even better because I'm on book number 2.
There you go. Big shout out to that. You're on the roll now. You keeping it moving. Can listeners still get a hold of the first book you wrote?
Yes, it's actually on Barnes & Nobles and Amazon now.
Okay, and what was the title again?
Betrayed.
Okay, now is this connected at all to Blinded by Love?
No, it's 2 separate books.
Okay, so that way, listeners, you don't feel like you have to catch up on one or the other. You can read them independently. Okay, and so when you rekindled your writing and you decided, okay, let me jump in this and actually finish a book, what was the publishing process like for you?
Actually, it was a little different for me. I mean, I've heard stories about, how they went through it. But my friend, my high school friend, a girl I went to school with, she knew the guy that I'm published under now. And she introduced us. And he was just like, send me some of your work and we'll go from there. So I sent him like the first 3 chapters of my book, and he's like, he loved it, and he signed me.
Just like that. I love it. Opportunities are all around us.
Yes, it is.
All right, so let's jump into this. What would you say your genre of writing, if someone is trying to determine what style of writing you have? Are you in a certain genre?
I don't think so. I mean, it's like I look at a lot of like books I've been reading, like as far as like urban lit. I don't think I could put myself in that category because I mean, what I write is just everywhere. I mean, it could be urban lit, it could be romance, it could be just in general. So I would just I'm in the outside box right now.
There you go. We're just going to take a hammer and smash the box. We're not going to put ourselves in a box. There you go. Outside the box. All right, so I opened up a little bit talking about blinded by love. And, they say love is deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yes.
Did that type of definition come into play when you were picking the title for the book?
Yes, it did. I mean, we've all been there, been there, done that, had that one man that, could tell you it was raining outside and it wasn't, and you believed him because you were just so in love with him that you just didn't see past everything he said. So that came into play. And plus, being in an abusive relationship myself, that inspired that book.
Oh, wow. And so you pulled on some of the things the behaviors you saw and the things that you experienced to write this. What a good way to turn something that's negative and bad into a way to help other people in a story format, but it's still helping other people.
Yes.
And that's the one thing I think about, reading books is that it allows you to, even though it may be extreme, to kind of look on the outside of something and kind of say, oh, I would never do that. Oh, that doesn't. But then you can kind of look at your life and say, well, wait a minute, I might have did some of this. So, let me not stick my nose up. So let's talk about the characters. It happens. So describe the main characters, kind of their personalities and all of that good stuff.
Simone, she's a little naive. She has her heart broken because she lost her brother, and her father's not in her life, and she's the only kid at home with her mom, and it was like her mom wasn't paying her that much attention until she got with Maurice. So it was just she's just a carefree teenager.
Carefree teenager.
Yes, until she met Maurice.
Well, since we talk about Maurice, tell us, describe his personality.
He's a charmer. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's the type of guy that your mama warned you about. That he's the type of guy that you could bring home to your mom, and she's like, okay, yeah, he seems cool or he seems nice. But then after she gets to know him, she sees that side of him. He's the one that will whine you, dine you, and then turn around and beat you to death. I mean, he's just that guy. I mean, he's out there.
Wow. All right, so that's Maurice. Let's talk about Christy.
Christy, she's like the friend that we all want. She's like such a good friend. She's that friend that would listen to you and not judge you, and she'd give it to you raw, whether it hurts your feelings or not. She's just going to tell you the truth straight up. So, she's like that friend that everybody wants. All
right, everybody wants a friend like Christy, and certainly we don't want to leave Tasha out. Describe Tasha's personality.
Tasha, she's on the verge of being a good friend. She was there for Christy during that time when Christy and Simone was going through their little thing, but she had problems of her own. She got blinded by love also. So she's all around. She's a good person also.
Oh, right. And so what's the overall setting? Is this in a small town, a big town? What's the kind of atmosphere this story is set in?
It's right here in not my hometown, but the city I live in, Macon.
Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? This is so funny. This is reality radio. I was born in Milledgeville, Georgia.
Wow. Right up the road.
Right up the road. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, representing. I know my mom and my sister are listening, and they are probably tickled pink. Yeah. So for those listeners, you're probably saying, "What is a Milledgeville?" Milledgeville, Georgia is not far, like 30 minutes from Macon, Georgia. So that's why this is. This is amazing. Okay, so this is so now we have a backdrop of that. This is Macon, Georgia. Okay. Yeah. All right. And so tell us, we don't want to give too much away because listeners, we want you to go pick up a copy, Blinded by Love by Nicole Hill. And actually, Nicole, I downloaded it on from Amazon, and the Kindle version is on sale. Do you want to tell them about that?
Yes, it's on sale now for 99 cents. You can't beat that. You cannot
99 cents, less than $1, listeners. So you need to go download it and get it on your Kindle, on your Amazon, all that good stuff. All right. So how does the story open up for the listeners?
It opens up with Tasha and Christy and Simone going to the mall. They were going to try to find something to wear, and that's when she met Maurice at Foot Locker's. And he kind of followed them to the food court and was talking to him and, just trying to be macho man, So it opens up in the mall. In the mall.
That it could happen on any given Saturday, any given Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
What would be the perfect age bracket for those that are that would read this book? Were you targeting any particular age group?
Well, actually, it takes place when she's I think it starts off when she's like 15, 16. Okay. So it's like teenagers. So it's, it's teenagers up until, she's mid-20s.
All right. And I do want to mention it is available Kindle, but it is also available paperback. So for those of you who are saying, I want to have a book, I want to have it in my hand, that it is available there. And listen, you have some great reviews on Amazon. I just want to share one of them that just made me chuckle. One of the reviewers, and again, listeners, you can see the reviews on Amazon.com. This book was everything. In the beginning, Simone got on my nerves, but by the end of the book, she had made me feel sorry for her. Christy was a real true friend. I wish I had a friend like her. And then that Maurice, he had me wanting to choke him. And then they go on to say, I recommend everybody purchase this book, and it's only 99 cents at this point. So that's you have all 5-star reviews on Amazon. So how does that feel when you hear people with those kind of comments?
It makes me feel good. I mean, actually, those are the only ones on Amazon, but not including the ones that they wrote on my wall or in my inbox. It's always about Maurice. Everybody wanted to choke Maurice. And yes, everybody wanted to choke him, but everybody was just so I got good reviews, and everybody they loved the book. They had them all in their feelings, and I'm glad you put a story out like that because a lot of teenagers and a lot of people are going through that right now, and it made me feel real good because I knew when I was going through it, I kept it to myself. I told absolutely nobody. So that was my way of opening up also.
Yeah, and is your hope that it will open, that either people, if they're experiencing it, will open up to someone about it?
Yes. I mean, because, we all feel, when you go through it, you don't want that I told you so. You don't want people to look at you like, why are you still with him? Because, I mean, you on the outside looking in, you can say that, but you don't know what's going on with that person. You don't know why that person decided to stay. And it's hard enough to stay in a relationship like that. It's even harder to leave when you don't have that support system because you don't want to hear, I told you so, or, you should just leave. It's not that easy to just leave.
Absolutely. And I would say any woman and we have a lot of primarily a female listenership. Hey, guys, we ain't leaving you out. Don't go nowhere. This is not a male bashing show. We want you to stay right here. But I would say, I would go on record to say that any female listening from the age 16 on up to 106, you have accepted some behavior in a relationship or some guy or man you liked that somebody else could look at and say, well, I would never do that, or I would never accept that. So I don't think any of us can hold our nose up at anybody, because if we check the record, something, whether it was you let him not call when he want to call, and then you answer all his calls. I mean, we could go down the list. So I don't think the bottom line is nobody can stick their nose up. Would you agree?
Exactly.
All right. And so does this book talk about loyalty? Because we've got three friends here, three girls here with friendships. Does it walk away? Do people feel like, oh, I need to be more loyal?
Yes. It speaks on that, because what they're going through as far as, like, Christy and Simone fell out. And it was something that could have been avoided if, Simone had to just listened to her friend. But during that time, that's when Tasha stepped in and was like, y'all need to squash it, whatever. And, don't worry about it. She'll come back around. So they gave her space to, deal with it themselves before they even, did it. But they all came back together. So it's like, even though they went through that and, they got mad or whatever, they still ended up being the best of friends. So they didn't let the incident come between them.
That's good. I think that's a life lesson about friendships. What do you think people will walk away with feeling about friendships once they read the book, Blinded by Love?
That they need a friend. Like, everybody needs to be a friend to each other. I want to be just like Christy. I want to be there whenever my friend needs me. I'm going to be there for her regardless of what. I'm going to keep it real with her regardless of how it makes her feel. You always need that kind of friend around you. So, that may make somebody a better friend to somebody else, and, you may be going through that in your friendship with somebody. So they look at it like, okay, if she went through all that and she still stuck by her, then I think I could do that with my friend too.
All right. And you know what? Because a lot of times we want to have friends like that, but then we have to turn the mirror back on ourselves and see, are we that type of friend?
We all have our flaws. Nobody is perfect. We all go through stuff. We get mad. We say things we don't really mean. It's just you have to be the bigger person and apologize.
Apologize and clear the air. Oh, wow. Yes. Listeners, hey there. If you just tuned in, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, broadcasting from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, and we're chatting it up here in our second segment, Author Spotlight, with Nicole Hill, talking about her book, Blinded by Love. You can pick it up. Now, where are all the places, again, for those that may have just tuned in, where they can get a copy of Blinded by Love?
It is available ebook and paperback on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And it's also, I can't remember the name of the bookstore. Chesapeake Mall, I think.
Okay, in Virginia?
Find out. I'm thinking. Yes, I should have had that information, but I can't remember that. But it's available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.
All right, perfect places to go and pick it up. And then can listeners connect with you on any social media sites?
Yes, I'm on Twitter. It's at Arthur Nicole H. I'm also on Facebook, Arthur Nicole Hill. I don't have Instagram
Great.
yet.
No problem. And I have tweeted, so that's a good connection point. Listeners, if you're following me on Twitter, twitter.com/Sharvette, I have tweeted her, so that's an easy connection point. And also facebook.com/Sharvette. It's a public post. We don't even have to be friends. You could just click my follow button. Just follow me. You'll get all the updates on the show. And I have connected there on the author page, so you can keep up. So while you were writing this book, did you feel like it was a healing process for you? How did you feel actually putting pen to paper for this book?
And I did. A lot of well, I'm not gonna say a lot of things, but some of the things that's in the book actually happened. I won't say what, but it's like some things in the book actually happened. So it was like me telling people what happened to me indirectly. So, yes,
did you have any friends that say? Did you have any friends that said, "Am I Simone? Are you writing about me?"
Always. They always want to know, did you put me in that book? Is that character based on me? No, it's not.
We changed the name to protect the innocent. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
I told when I do write a book about them, I would make sure I let them know, look, that character is based on you. That is you all the way, so they'll know.
But listen, this don't mean you're getting any cut off of the book sales. We just let you know that you're in the book or not. Now, I think that this book would be great for book clubs because anytime you have a situation where you've got characters that make you mad, that make you sad, that make you, but then characters that really, make you happy and like what they do, that's great for discussion. So have you had any book clubs reach out to you?
Actually, I'm doing a discussion on October the 3rd in Don't Read Me, Read a Book club.
Oh, wow. Is that an online discussion? Is that in person?
It is. It's online.
Okay, so can listeners participate, or do they have to be a part of that book club?
I'm thinking I can invite them to the book club. It's on Facebook.
Okay. It's on Facebook, so listeners, just connect with her on her Facebook page and Twitter, and you can kind of keep up to date. And if you have a book club, consider this book. I think this would be a really good option for people to consider for a book club, so they can go right there and check it out. So what is on the horizon for you? What's coming up next?
As far as interviews, I have something coming up on Slice on Facebook. I have the Don't Read Me, Read a Book thing coming up. I don't have any book signings or anything like that in the making right now.
Okay, and I know that you
my third book.
Oh, okay. So can we get like a sneak peek what the third book is going to be about?
Drama, and more drama.
I'm seeing a theme here, Nicole. I'm seeing a theme. No problem. And I love that on your on the Facebook page. So for author Nicole Hill, you give samples from chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So if listeners, if you're not sold by this interview, you can go sample some things from the book so that you can have an idea. Was it fun putting the book cover together?
It was. It was stressful because they, the publishing company was like, what do you see when you think of Blinded by Love? I'm not creative. I'm really not creative. But it was like, just sitting here thinking about the book, Blinded by Love. Every time I closed my eyes, that's what I saw. A girl, standing there with tears and headlights. They made it happen for me.
Wow. Shout out to your publisher. Certainly, do you want to give a shout out to your publisher and all those that worked with you to bring the book to life?
Yes. Reese at Reese Worlds Publishing, Leisha, Tasha, Daphne, all of them. They're great. They're great. Leisha, she gave me some good pointers as far as the book. She went back and forth with me. Tasha, she was great with the editing. We went back and forth with each other. She gave me some ideas. I wrote them. She approved them, and here it is. So this book, it was a process with this one. It was a process, but it was good. It was a good learning experience. It was a good learning experience for me. So I appreciate all of them for everything that they did.
Wonderful. And so I don't want to leave out you're a wife and a mother as well. Yes. So how has your family...
I'm a grandmother also.
And listen, get out of here. So how has the family helped you or been along this writing process and putting your books out? How have they been acting?
They're real supportive. They're real supportive. My kids are very proud of me because that's all I talked about when I was, when they were younger. I was like, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to have a book. I'm going to get it published. I'm going to be on New York Times bestsellers list. I haven't made it there yet, but I'm on my way eventually.
On the way.
So
yeah.
On the way. So they inspire me because they look at it like, okay, my mom wanted to do this and now she's doing it. I'm real proud of her. So it makes me happy to know that, they're, so proud of me right now. My husband, on the other hand, he encourages me, you know, he supports me. But then on the other hand, it's like, okay, you take it away from my time now when you're doing this right.
You know what? I heard Will Smith say Will Smith was in a interview, and you know Will Smith did rap and music and all that kind of stuff, and he died. He pulled back from that, and the interviewer asked why he pulled back from that, and he said music is a mistress. He said he would find himself, you know, like running down to the studio in his house and writing all hours of the night. He was like, it was a mistress, so he had to, because he's doing all these other movies and all this other kind of stuff. But he had to pull back because of that piece, because he was doing so much already. So maybe that's what he feels like. But we hope that once the New York bestseller and all that stuff starts rolling in, he'll be like, baby, go ahead, and do what you do.
I'm hoping, yes.
I believe that. All right. So any final shout-outs that you want to give as we begin to wrap up?
Yes, I want to give a shout-out to Reach World Publishing. I want to give a shout-out to my mom, my kids, my husband, my grandbabies, just everybody in Montezuma, everybody here in Macon, all the listeners everywhere, my family in New York.
Yes. All right. Shout out to all the family. And my last question for you. The goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what keeps on motivating you.
What motivates me, I have to say my family. My family really motivates me. All the readers that give me good feedback on my work, they motivate me because, I mean, I'm new. I've only been signed for like 6 months. So to have people actually say they enjoy my work, that's like motivation in itself because they don't know me from anybody. So, I mean, it makes me feel real good. To have somebody that don't even know me to say, look, I enjoy your work, keep doing what you're doing. So that's motivation. My readers and my family.
Yes. And that, you know what, that is so true. And I think all of us, really can step back and if you're working on something, really appreciate the people that don't know you, if they're applauding you and supporting you. That's a big, that you should square your shoulders and stick your chest out for that. That's a big accomplishment because, listen, Amazon, they will leave a negative review. They don't care. They don't play. So, for people to leave good reviews. Yeah, they don't play. So for people to leave good reviews, I think you are on the right track. Well, Nicole, we are going to keep our eye out for you for your next book, and we'll just have to stay in touch.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for stopping by. All right, listeners, guess what? That is going to be a wrap-up for this week's show. Listen, this is what I need you to do. Jump over to Sharvette.com. You can join my email list where I send one email to you once a week, an hour before the show starts, just as a reminder to, hey, join us and listen. So you can do that at Sharvette.com. You can also listen to past shows and our featured interviews from the past are right there on the home page. So simple, so easy for you. So join us there at Sharvette.com. Also, if you need a website, if you have a product or a service or a business or an organization or a nonprofit or a church, listen, I can help take your brand to the next level. I'm a web designer and social media coach. So let's work together to build something amazing. You can find that information at Mitchell-Productions.com. That's Mitchell-Productions.com. Has all the information, pricing, samples, all that good stuff concerning web design and social media. Also, while you're over there, you can grab a free download and sign up for some free branding tips and all that good stuff right at Mitchell-Productions.com. Listen, we are in this thing together, and I want to help you build something amazing, whether that's building your online brand, your web, which the foundation of that is your website, and or your social media presence. If you are struggling with social media, I actually just had a session today with Twitter. Someone was struggling with Twitter, and by the time they finished, they were like, I got it. I'm good to go. I know what I'm doing. I can help you with that. So let's work it on out. let's work it on out. And if you're listening and you're saying, I want to be on the show, you can fill out a guest request on Sharvette.com, Sharvette.com on the contact page to be a guest on the show. You can do that right over there. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and love.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you have been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Connect with her at Sharvette.com. And until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. The Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Signing off.